Good morning, everybody. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey, guys. I'm glad everybody's enjoying my videos. I did get several emails in my mailbox. I got a message from somebody from the Paley Center. I got some emails from the Museum of Broadcast Communications. Actually, I got an email from somebody from the NASA Association. Several places. I have a lot of subscribers, guys. A lot of museums subscribe to my YouTube page. Sorry I didn't cover this more in depth, but I'm going to on this video. Of course, this is the CV skip field black and white machine like I had in previous videos, doing some repairs and some upgrades to the two models or units that I have, because we do have some 1960s videos to be working on soon, and I don't want to be jumping back and forth trying to repair something in between doing some transfers. So I wanted to upgrade them and get them to the best point that I can use them and get through a big collection of tapes. Anyways, the emails I've been getting, people from these various associations, museums, whatever. This goes out to any of the museums, archivists, anywhere in the country. If you're subscribed to my YouTube page, and if you don't know this might help you out a little bit more. People have been emailing me, are these machines pretty complicated to use? All right, yes, these machines are kind of complicated. These are the skip field units. They do not have tracking, okay? You cannot track your tapes on these, okay? They have automatic built-in tracking. There's no tracking adjustment knob on these machines. So you have no tracking on these. That's problem number one. Problem number two is the electronics on these ain't very good. And the video heads, every time you find one of these, most of the video heads on these machines are completely wore out. So there's a lot of problems. So I have to service mine to get them up and running. I do an awful lot of work on these because everything's so bad on them. But like I said, guys, the main reason is this is a very unique machine from the 60s. No tracking. It's a black and white machine. They always need video heads, nine times out of 10. And they just don't work right. The capacitors are bad on these half the time. And so they thoroughly have to be gone through. But once you get them up and running, and this is a relatively good picture for this machine, once you get them up and running and they actually play and all that type of stuff, and you take them into time-based correction for stabilization and your video levels and going through scopes, you can produce the best possible picture. And then at that point, you take it into software and you clean up the video even more. But the biggest problem with these machines is the back of the machine, guys. I want you to pay close attention to this. There are no output videos, or video output, as you would say, on the back of this machine. These were not designed where, like a VCR, where you can plug out of it and copy, a tape. Okay? They developed the duplicators, which everything went through this one plug. Okay? This one plug, which would go to the TV, or from the duplicate this to another deck tape machine, and you could duplicate one tape to another tape. So everything went out of this plug here. It's a very unique plug. Okay? It's an 8-pin plug, and you got to know the wiring on these, and if you have a schematic and you got to read schematics, there's a lot you actually can do. So what I did, as you can see, you got to know what wire goes where, and the schematic plainly tells you what that is. So what I do is I create what's called these breaker boxes, which gives you, your video and your right and left audio mix, because it's only a one-channel audio. So I mix them together, so it's a left and right. So I create these plugs on these boxes. I order these boxes, and I create what's called a breaker box, which makes it very easy to use these machines. So all you have to do is plug this plug in. Okay, and you can feed this into your system right from these breaker boxes to start copying your video through time-based correction and all that. So you do need, a custom box of some sort to use these CV machines, or else if you just want to hardwire rig it however you want to do it, it's all on you. I like things to be easy and simple, so I could just take the breaker box, plug it in, and I'm ready to go. I don't want to have to mess with these. These are just crazy plugs. I mean, I don't want to have to mess with these things. So I created a direct plug to a breaker box to do the video work I need to do. And like I said, there is an audio line out, a mini plug for audio, but there's no video. So you're best to take the audio and video directly from the pin or plug and make yourself a breaker box. So you have your audio and video all in one box. So voila, you're ready to go, and you don't have to deal with any of those problems. But this is a machine. These were made before, I guess, the EIAJs, because the EIAJs then had video in and outs on the back of these, where these Skipfield's CV units did not. So you have to rely on this breaker box type of thing, okay, and which actually makes the connections easy to do the video copy you're trying to do. You can also use these on the CV-2000, the 8650, 8600, and 3650. In case you don't want to mess with any of the plugs on the back, you could use this breaker box, which does the same thing on all those units. But on this particular unit, you have to have a conversion box of some sort. These are custom made by me, so I can plug directly out of it. They make the copy to my system, because there is no video outputs on these machines at all. You have to have some type of a conversion box. These are custom boxes. I make them. I basically use the main plug cable that these things come with. I split the cable and then I hardwire it into a box with some RCA output connectors, and voila, you got a box you can copy your video out of. But there's no video outputs on these at all. So these Skipfield machines are a real pain in the ass, because they didn't have any options for outputs on them except for the 8 or 9 pin plug that's on the back here. I think that's what is that? 2, 4, 6. No, it's an 8 pin. Yeah, it's an 8 pin plug. You have to rely on this plug right here. If you make a breaker box, you're ready to go, and you never have to deal with that problem, especially if you're doing copies of tapes on these particular machines. But I just want to explain that to people, the museums and all these people who have been asking me about the hard wiring of these machines. Is it easy to do? It's not easy. You do have to make custom stuff for these to use them. Or if you just want to hardwire it and rig it up on the back, all power to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. You do have the power connections here, and you don't want to shock yourself trying to do that. So I do everything custom. But after I restore the machines, again, guys, you have to restore these machines. It's a nightmare, because they just don't work out right out the gate. They have to be fixed. We replace the audio control heads, sometimes the meters. I replace the motor run caps. There's a lot of things I change on these particular machines because they just do not work well. So I hope that answers your question, and hope you enjoyed this video.